Hey everybody, how you doing? Hope you're well. I have a bone to pick with former Oakland District 6 Councilmember and current Oakland Mayoral candidate Loren Taylor. And this has to do with Oakland's Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District program that never started. Loren and his staff members, I was about to try to give Loren some credit for not making this mistake, but none of this goes out without Loren's approval. So I have to say, Loren, this was an awful thing to do, to put out information that Oakland established an enhanced infrastructure financing district program, when in point of fact it didn't, and then to use the incorrect term for it, forgetting to add the E and just calling it Oakland Infrastructure Financing District. That's wrong. We don't have them, Loren, at all. Folks, let me show you what I'm talking about as I go forward here. I want you to see this, okay? Welcome, right here. I saw this on Nextdoor. Someone referred to Loren in this post. I'll scroll up here, and this is by Marguerite F. But then she writes that Taylor's been in politics for 6 years. He serves on the councils for 4 years, helped create and empower Oakland. Over the last 2 years, he's been a staunch advocate for improved public safety and opposed cuts to OPB budget. His council chief of staff has listed his accomplishments elsewhere in Nextdoor, including a city increment policy currently being implemented. The full list is in the attachment. They included this. And my eyes zeroed in on this right here. And it really just jumped right out at me. 7, successfully advocated for the creation of infrastructure financing districts. Loren did not do that. Oakland does not have infrastructure financing districts. You want proof? I'll give you a very simple exercise you can do right now at home. All you have to do is go to Google and type Oakland Infrastructure Financing District, right? And then see what you get. The first result, going up here, and we can see where you are at in Google, all right, is, well, let's do this the easy way. Take this and then simply hit return, and then there, all right? And that's Howard Terminalized Infrastructure Financing District, which is also wrong. That was Brody Brazil's video. It's called Enhanced. This was December 21st, 2022, but that was never implemented. Then this is mine. This is a presentation I gave to the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum Joint Powers Authority toward EIFD, Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District, for, as you can see when I opened it up here, right, to finance future development and for the Oakland Coliseum Joint Powers Authority and East Oakland. Not only did I give a presentation on it, thank you to Oakland Councilmember Rebecca Kaplan, you can actually see the full presentation right here. All you have to do, you can search for it and then just click on the arrow. And then this is the presentation that I give. Really pleased as punch that my friend, okay, at-large Councilmember Rebecca, and I talk about it here. And there's another video where I actually give the presentation for the JPA. All right. And I also ran the numbers as to what the tax increment zone would look like. Don't want to get too much in the weeds. And here's another one by me. Oakland economic woes like one building value dropping. Then Brody Brazil wrote another one where he, again, misuses the term and made a lot of mistakes there. This is not City of Oakland, this is Oakland County, Michigan, so that doesn't apply. Neither does that one. Here's another one. This is my special session on Howard Terminal. And This was from July 7th of 2021. And then Facebook page, there's another one by me. This is where Oakland Mayor Schaaf touts the EIFD program. And this is after Sheng. This was September 22nd, 2022. Sheng Thao asked to meet with me February 2nd, 2022 to learn about enhanced infrastructure financing districts and tax increment financing. Only Sheng did not want, she had homework for me to do, but she didn't want to pay me. She said she had a consultant. Yeah, we are 21 minutes into the meeting and she says, well, I have a consultant for that. And I'm thinking, well, if you have a consultant, why'd you request a special meeting with me? And folks, I have the text messages to prove it. A Zoom meeting. Never got the answer. Later in the year, when I would ask for an interview with her, just as I've done with other mayoral candidates, she would consistently refuse my request. She and Brandon Haramy. So I thought, hey, if you're going to play that game with me, guess what? I'm going to spill the beans on your request because it was wrong. You wanted me to do free work for you. I refused. And you told me you had a consultant who apparently wasn't doing the right job for you and a good job because you turned to me. Only you didn't want to pay me. You had no problem paying him for bad information. So Loren returns the favor, okay, with his behavior. And so if we go back here, back to me, if we go back here, as you can see, there's no implementation here. Nothing, okay? I wrote this about the Wall Street Journal op-ed that Sheng Thao left in this one, okay? And so my point is that Oakland has never implemented an enhanced infrastructure financing district. And in Loren's case, I told him that in 2021, our consultant, Century Urban, had ran the tax increment estimates for Howard Terminal incorrectly, coming up with only a $400 million subsidy when the subsidy should have been when the revenue is $1.6 billion and the subsidy should have been $800 million, assuming a $500 million assessed value and $1 billion assessed value and 4% rate of growth in assessed value annually over a 45-year period, which is what is allowed by law. They didn't do that. They actually, Century Urban only used 20 years of the 45 years that's allowed to perform bond issue and collect property tax revenue. Now you would say, well, how does this work? Okay. The idea is based on what we've done for redevelopment. The city council says, hey, this area, could be anywhere in the city, is one where we should concentrate our property tax monies in the form of a bond issue to improve the infrastructure, roads, sewers, provide assistance to nonprofits for such programs as Head Start, assistance to the business community. There are all kinds of creative uses that can be applied to an area. Henry Gardner, our once city manager for Oakland, now the Oakland Alameda County Joint Powers Authority executive director, told me that way back in 1983, we even used tax increment financing to remove crack houses in East Oakland. This history is lost on the current group of people running Oakland, led by the Oakland City Administrator, Justin Johnson, who's from Atlanta. They simply do not have any experience with tax increment financing. They come from the outside, and they bring their outsider's point of view to essentially infect Oakland. I said it just like that because we're not getting the kind of legislation we can use. Or I should say more appropriately, we're not using the legislation that's already on the books to actually clean up an Oakland that's blighted. So when you go around Oakland, you say, hey, there are blighted conditions here. Doesn't matter if it's around the lake or wherever. We use redevelopment to clear blight in a great many places. That led to the birth and eventual completion of Oakland City Center, among other things. You have to know your Oakland history. And the people running for office now, top to bottom, do not know that history, and they get caught in this groupthink that says we have to tax everything to achieve more money for security, improved infrastructure. And so when we get to that point, they say it's because we don't have any money, as opposed to using tax increment financing, which says you're already getting property tax payments. Take that money and then concentrate it in a specific area of the city. Normally that money gets split between the City of Oakland, the County of Alameda, BART, AC Transit, and the EB Mud Flood Control District. All right? But when you say I want to use tax increment financing and enhance infrastructure financing district, then it goes to what's called the Public Financing Authority, which is the modern variation of what we used to call redevelopment agency. And then you design a infrastructure financing plan and float a bond issue. In the case of Howard Terminal, that bond issue could have been as large, folks, as $1.6 billion, assuming, of course, they turned around and did the right calculations where they assumed the 4% rate of growth of assessed value. Instead, they assumed 2%, which is allowed by government. They made a lot of mistakes. And now I'm referring to the version that of Howard Terminal that Century Urban wrote that corrected the errors that I pointed out in 2021. They released it, but get this, folks, by the time they released a new study, April of 2023, the A's had already came to an agreement with the Nevada legislature to leave Oakland and come to Las Vegas and build their spectacular new palace, which will be opening in 2028 on the Las Vegas Strip. So we have a understanding problem and implementation problem, and Loren's playing games with history and playing games with words doesn't help. He wants you to think that he's the wonk guy that has the understanding and can solve these problems, when in point of fact, that's not true. That's not true. There are plenty of people who've been there, okay, that know far more than he does. But from my experience with Loren, he acts like he just can't stand it, or me, all right? And I have seen this, experienced it, and I'm thinking, when is this young brother just going to get it together and get some real competent help? Because the people he's working with don't know, and yet they'll say, well, they'll go and steal another idea that I had, which is for the city to reestablish its 41-year-old Economic Development Corporation. So here Loren says, I'm going to create the first Economic Development Corporation in Oakland's history. Well, actually, it wasn't, which is another Loren Taylor lie. We had an Economic Development Corporation in Oakland, and you're looking at the guy who wrote about it while I was a city and regional planning master's degree guy at Berkeley, okay? So there it is. Take a look at what Loren does. I'll be back with more. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsonline.com.